Power.
Decision day for Michael Schumacher, or at least a day in which we'll get a strong indication of whether one of the greatest of Formula One careers is drawing to a close. Yesterday we were left in no doubt that the ability is still there. But yesterday we also got a clear insight into what the future holds for Ferrari.
Pole goes Raikkonen! Fantastic lap!
But it's the present that gets the attention of Fernando Alonso, just 12 points ahead in the title race. Qualifying was a battle, and eventually the stewards would relegate him to 10th on the grid. Will Schumacher take advantage in what could be the last European race of his career? The Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Good afternoon, welcome to Monza. We talk about the special atmosphere of this place, but today it's absolutely exceptional for this Italian Grand Prix. We've got Schumacher chasing Alonso, we've got Ferrari chasing Renault as this championship season nears a thrilling and now very controversial climax, because Renault have reacted absolutely angrily to the grid penalty imposed on Fernando Alonso yesterday evening. And here at Ferrari, there's also the thought that Michael Schumacher might be about to drive in his last Grand Prix in Europe. He'll be making his announcement at the end of the race this afternoon, but the speculation has been going on all weekend.
Ferrari has been under siege by the world's media all weekend. There's one question: will Michael Schumacher stay or go? He would rather have waited till the end of the season to decide, but Ferrari were adamant that they were going to make their driver announcement this weekend, so Michael's pushed it back as late as he can.
There is no point to ask any questions or get into it. Sunday things will be made clear, and unfortunately not before for you.
It's clear that the decision has been taken, but we feel that it's the most proper thing to protect the team to tell to the media and to the tifosi just at the end of the race.
One thing is for sure, Kimi Raikkonen will drive for Ferrari next year, even if at the moment he's playing it dumb.
You must be excited to join Ferrari.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are we going to learn your future this weekend?
We just need to wait and see.
So Ron, how do you think Kimi will go at Ferrari?
How on earth would I know? Next question.
It seems Ferrari's desire to lure Raikkonen has been stronger than their desire to keep Michael. Has the unthinkable happened? Have Ferrari and Michael fallen out of love? Despite a strong qualifying performance, he's been miserable all weekend.
You don't look very happy, because it's quite a good position you're in.
It's true, but there's no reason to jump around now.
To tell the truth, you haven't looked very happy all weekend. Are you in good spirits?
I am, yes, but I'm concentrated.
And reporters and rivals better beware that when Michael Schumacher is in that kind of mood. Mark Blundell, what do you expect to hear from Michael at the end of the day today?
You know, I have to say, I think he's going to retire, Stephen, and all the pointers go towards that. And he's kind of painted himself into a bit of a corner. But what I can say is a huge amount of tension in his paddock, and some of that is down to Michael Schumacher, some of that's down to a few others at the moment.
Well, it was Michael Schumacher, the old Michael Schumacher, in qualifying yesterday, although he was just pipped to pole position by Kimi Raikkonen in a thrilling climax of the qualifying competition. But then came that huge controversy involving Renault. James Allen has the full story.
Well, everyone here at Monza was predicting an all-Ferrari front row, but it didn't turn out that way. Kimi Raikkonen, clearly desperate to prove to the tifosi that he's a worthy successor to Michael Schumacher, beat the ex-champion by 2/1000ths of a second. That's the size of a CD cover over a 3.5-mile lap. BMW have been very quick here all weekend. They got their best qualifying of the season so far. Nick Heidfeld lines up third, Robert Kubica sixth. Jenson Button did no running at all in Friday practice after test driver Anthony Davidson blew 2 engines, but he more than made up for lost time with a stunning lap for 5th place on the grid. But there's no doubt where the main drama lay. Fernando Alonso, in the 3rd qualifying session, picked up a puncture, severe bodywork damage to the right-hand side of his car, but nevertheless, the championship leader managed to qualify 0.4 of a second off pole position. But then, after qualifying, sensationally, the stewards moved him back to 10th place on the grid for blocking Felipe Massa. There are 8 places on the grid then between Schumacher and Alonso. How many can he make up? 3rd pole position of the season then for Kimi Raikkonen, and what a place to do it, and what a day to do it as well. 2/1000ths of a second faster than Schumacher. Heidfeld gives BMW their best qualifying of the season so far, with Massa alongside. Button made up for lost time with 5th, and Kubica's on different tyres from his teammate in 6th. Della Rosa and Barrichello make up row 4. Row 5 is the Renaults. Fisichella looks like he's carrying quite a lot of fuel. Alonso moved back 5 places by the stewards for blocking Massa. Then it's Trulli and Rosberg, both outside the top 10. Difficult weekend for Toyota. Ralf Schumacher down in 13th. Coulthard has no straight line speed. Toro Rosso beats Red Bull, speed ahead of Klian. Then it's Liuzzi and Albers on row 9. Webber beaten by a Midland here, and Montero's alongside him. At the back, the Super Aguris. Yamamoto shredded a tyre at the beginning of qualifying, and debris from that may have caused Alonso's puncture.
Quite a surprising result, McLaren suddenly getting pole. You got any answers as to why that managed to happen the way it did?
Principally, I think we have a very good car for the race.
Okay, so you think you're sort of fueled longer than them then? That's what you're saying? You're on different strategies to Kimi?
And maybe tyres and whatever.
The car was very good in the qualifying and has been all weekend, so okay, you never know what the others will do, but after the first couple of qualifyings we saw that we were quick.
Well, even though I start in the top 3, I think it's going to be difficult to stay there. Of course, we're going to try everything, but we should score a couple of points.
So, Kimi Raikkonen on pole position, Michael Schumacher alongside him, but Fernando Alonso relegated from a promising 4th place on the grid way back to 10th. Renault absolutely furious at the steward's decision. Some strong opinions came out of a hastily convened press conference this morning. We'll hear from Fernando Alonso, first of all.
And as Flavio said, I'm a sportsman. I love the sport. I had a puncture, a lot of damage in the car, rear wing damage as well. I put another set of tires. I went out, tried the first 2 braking points at 330 kilometers an hour to check if the car was okay. Then I pushed another set of tires with half of the car broken on the back, and I did my lap with no blocking anyone intentionally, and only because I love the sport. I love the fans coming here, a lot of them from Spain. And I don't consider anymore Formula One like a sport.
Well, Renault, Fernando Alonso and the whole team clearly bewildered, offering video evidence at this morning's press conference. And Mark Blundell, it's very hard to see what the stewards saw in that evidence.
As a driver for 20-odd years, Steve, I cannot see anything wrong with what went on there. I really can't. I don't understand what all the fuss is about. If anything, Massa had a little bit of a slipstream and should have had an advantage with the situation. Alonso was on an outlap. He actually did a green sector. That means he had done his personal best time. He was obviously pushing. He never, ever really made any, issue for Massa whatsoever. I do not understand this whole thing.
I mean, leaving alone whether the stewards got it wrong, why on earth did Ferrari protest in these circumstances?
You know, you can only feel that they want to make sure that they had a car up the front there. There's another support role again for Schumacher. Alonso, the further back, the better it is for them to win the championship. So maybe they're trying every single angle they can. Whether the angle's the right one, as far as I can see, I don't feel that it is right, and I think the stewards have made a critical mistake in their evaluation of it.
Everyone, of course, feels here at Monza that historically decisions like this go the way of Ferrari, but the evidence of that really supports conspiracy theories.
Well, it looks kind of difficult now, doesn't it? We're here in Italy, we're here at Monza, we've got the situation with Ferrari, Schumacher trying to win the championship, and Alonso was in 5th position. We were in for a great race like that. Now he's pushed back to 10th. What can you think? You can only think the obvious. I hope that's not the case. But again, I can only say that I think the evaluation of the whole situation is wrong.
More reaction from Renault. We can hear from Flavio Briatore with Louise.
Flavio, it's hard to find anybody in the paddock who understands this steward's ruling. Is it a fix? No, one of the guy in the paddock can understand as well. You talk with the right guy. I just see the video again with the inboard camera. I believe it was done by Premiere, I think, but we need to see the video.
You've just renewed, signed up a new two-year deal with Renault. When this kind of thing happens, does it make you question your decision to stay in the sport?
No, it's very sad because, you know, I mean, yesterday we take a lot of risk to send Fernando out again. He have a puncture tire, was really force majeure, and done an incredible job. But, you know, what you need, your guys, you, very important part. I don't want to any comment because for me it's only fact, and what I see is not what was made a decision.
How's Fernando taken it? He seemed to have his head down a bit earlier on in the press conference.
No, sure, he's not happy. You know, I mean, you take the risk. You know, when you're doing a lap like this, you take the risk. You need to understand Fernando have 4% less of the downforce as well because the fact we had the accident with the tire. We want to put him. We're fighting for the championship. It's difficult. I don't know why. You know, I understand what's the problem between us and Schumi or whatever. My master, I mean, he's not in the game. He's nothing. He's always in the game to help Michael.
Thanks, Flavio.
Well, the rivalry is absolutely intense, that's for sure. But the danger for Formula One is that this has all the ingredients for relegating a terrific championship battle to the Court of Appeal in January or February next year.
And we don't want that. We really don't want to see that. We want to see the action on the circuit. And I think we will still go action today. There's no two ways about that. It will be a tremendous race. But we have to get this all cleared up. There have to be some hard and fast rulings. And looking at the whole thing there, Steve, it doesn't make any sense. That's all I can say. The more you keep looking at it, the less sense it makes.
OK, we've heard from Flavio Briatore. Pat Simmons at Renault is always quick with an opinion. What are his thoughts on the subject?
And as Fernando said, all we want really is to just be involved in the sport and nothing else. Qualifying is an exciting procedure and we appreciate that excitement.
How do you think Fernando Alonso is going to react to this? It's a danger for a driver when a red mist descends on race morning.
It is, but at this level, though, they're going to get a situation now where Alonso will calm himself. He knows what he has to do. For sure, this is going to be a tough race, and he wants to go and prove a point now. I think that's what's happened with him. He's been kind of penalised for something which obviously he feels he didn't do, and I think he will prove a point. I think Renault will do as well.
And of course, the background to this is that Ferrari are just 2 points behind Renault in the Constructors' Championship. It's equally exciting in the battle for the driver's title as well, of course. Alonso has struggled ever since the Canadian Grand Prix 3 months ago, but it's his determination, especially in holding off Schumacher in that last round in Turkey, that's helped preserve his lead at 12 points with 4 races remaining. No win yet this season for Raikkonen or McLaren. Maybe that's going to change this afternoon. It was a McLaren win, of course, last year through Juan Pablo Montoya, and it's McLaren fastest so far this weekend. Martin Brundle describes the lap that put Raikkonen on pole.
Let's take a look at 3.7 miles of...
Well, Mark, it's all going on off the track as well as on it. What do you make of Alonso being booted down to 10th?
Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All the drivers that are... I mean, it's always a fine line between, we have spoken in the GPDA about making it... when we went from single car qualifying to then all cars on the track, we knew there was going to be a few issues of people getting close to each other, but we've all tried to do our best at certain occasions. I think people intentionally blocking other people really hasn't been a huge amount of it, and obviously the case yesterday was absolutely nowhere near it at all. Fernando was doing his absolute utmost to finish the lap, start his lap, and Felipe was getting a mega slipstream anyway, and probably did lose a little bit of time, but it wasn't it's not going to be world breaking, but what is frustrating is of course that this sort of penalty comes into place for a guy that's leading the championship, and they're doing obviously a lot of things to try and make it harder for Fernando.
Yeah, and at a crucial time. I mean, would people be forgiven for thinking this is a bit stinky and maybe some manipulation at play?
Well, you always think it's at a crucial time, like you say, and the mass damper scenario was a bit interesting, and then also the resurfacing of this track was interesting as well, I would say. So. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm a fan of the sport, and then a lot of people back home there as well. But at the end of the day, I don't buy into everything, to be honest.
Okay, mate. Thanks.
Tough times for Mark Webber and Williams, but here at McLaren they were given a real boost by the qualifying performance, the pole position of Kimi Raikkonen yesterday, and also by the performance of Britain's Lewis Hamilton, their young driver with all their McLaren associations, finally confirmed as GP2 champion here yesterday evening. GP2, of course, the feeder series into Formula One, so the future for British motorsport is in good, safe hands with Lewis Hamilton. We've known for quite some time what an exciting young talent he is, and he's known the same for a few years as well.
Hopefully I'll get into Formula 1. I've got Ron Dennis's phone number. I can find him in 9 years and I'll get to find him. And he might give me a free drive in McLaren.
Lewis Hamilton, grown up a bit, now GP2 champion. Do you remember that confident youngster of 10 years ago?
I do. I was just told that you're going to show that. It's quite embarrassing, really, but it's quite an amazing feeling to be here.
Tell us about the manner in which you secured the title. Almost an anticlimax after all your heroics in Turkey last weekend. How did it all happen this weekend?
Well, I did all I could to score enough points to win the championship yesterday, but unfortunately the guy that was leading the race took the fastest lap, but he did it under the yellow flag, so unfortunately for him, he had it taken away, and I won the championship that way. So it wasn't the best way to do it, but I'll take it.
But you can celebrate as a champion. What do you feel you've proved about yourself during the course of this year, and what sort of satisfaction does the title give you?
It's an amazing amount of satisfaction. I mean, it's my first season in GP2 is such a steep learning curve for me to come into my first season and be at the front with such experienced drivers. But, it's a phenomenal feeling, and I hope that I can continue in the Formula 1.
Now, of course, as the cars start to go out, everyone will be asking you what's next. How close are you to climbing into a Formula 1 cockpit and going racing?
I feel I'm ready. I've come a long way this season. I've learned a lot, and I just hope that I will get the opportunity to drive.
Pedro de la Rosa has just left the garage behind us. You want a bit of all this excitement, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, Pedro's seat, that's what I would love, really.
Congratulations on the title and all the best for what's to come. You might be interested in the calendar for 2007, the Formula 1 calendar, which has been published during the course of this last week. Make a note of these dates, Lewis. No San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, that's off the list. The Belgian Grand Prix at Spa is back. There is a doubt about the Turkish Grand Prix, but Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, is back on its traditional July weekend. And Silverstone have reacted really quickly with a ticket hotline and also a ticket offer that if you book early enough and Jenson Button goes on to win the race, you could get your money back. But the number is 08704 588 300, the ticket hotline for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Monza is on the schedule as well. And with Silverstone, it shares the distinction of being one of the original venues for the Formula One World Championship. This place, Monza, well, it's just history.
Monza symbolises motor racing in Italy. The haunting structure of one of the oldest tracks in the world echoes the passions of past generations.
If you walk around a little bit, you can still see the banked oval in the infield, which is absolutely amazing. You think, geez, you've got to be absolutely nuts to drive 50 years ago flat out around these ovals.
This is a special racing circuit, a lot of special races that happen here, and a lot of great names have raced here and manufacturers as well. So Monza is very, very famous.
This is the temple of the speed with more than 250 kilometers per hour average speed. And it's great to be here because the fans are very warm and nice with us.
They may be friendly, but the Tifosi have only one true love, a team that's part of racing legend in Italy, both past and present.
Ferrari. Very simple. That's all. Nobody else.
And Rosso Red has always been the dominant colour at Monza.
You can see the asphalt, obviously, then the green of the trees, the sky blue, and then just the red flag on the grandstand.
For some Italians, Ferrari is a way of life.
Some children, they can't even pronounce mommy or daddy, they pronounce it Ferrari because, the passion is really great.
In '69, when I secured the World Championship, Helen and I had to run from the crowd. We ran into a toilet and had to climb out the back window of the toilet because they were breaking the door down. An amazing thing, and they're so enthusiastic. There's no crowd like it in the world.
Whether the team is owned by Enzo Ferrari or run by Luca de Montezemolo, whether the cars are cheating physics on the banking or eating the parabolica. As long as the Scuderia are out in front, then Italy will always be happy.
And Monza remains a supremely evocative venue with some of the most passionate fans in sport. It's certainly ready to add to its illustrious history this afternoon in this Italian Grand Prix, for which we'll be out on the grid with Martin Brundle very shortly. And there'll be another chance for you to be the VIP guest of Ferrari at their headquarters in Maranello. That's all in our competition in a few minutes' time.
F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power. F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.
The Royal Park at Monza, bathed in late summer sunshine and immersed in that very special atmosphere that always accompanies the Italian Grand Prix. Coming up, we'll be out on the grid with Martin Brundle, trying to assess the race prospects in more detail, maybe getting more clues as to what Michael Schumacher will be announcing after the race, maybe more strong opinions from a very aggrieved Renault team for whom Fernando Alonso has arrived on the grid. Not in the 5th place that he was hoping. That's where he thought he qualified yesterday evening, but relegated back to row 5. Fernando Alonso, as a result of the stewards, will be starting from 10th on the grid. You'll get the full story, not only in our live coverage, but also on the ITV F1 website. The website provides a further range of background information on the whole of Formula One. It's where you can contact Mark Blundell to get further insights in our Question Mark feature. And it's where you can also get details on our ITV F1 competitions. For correctly answering that Jackie Stewart was a 3-times world champion, it's congratulations to Keith Pullen of Eastbourne, who won the chance to be the guest of Williams at this Italian Grand Prix. And this morning, Sir Jackie Stewart was his personal guide on a tour of the Williams garage. This week's competition gets you to Ferrari.
This weekend, Shell is giving you the chance to win a trip to the Ferrari factory at Maranello. You and a friend will be flown to Italy for an exclusive tour around both the Formula One and GT road car production facilities. You'll then be taken to the Fiorano test track, where you might be lucky enough to catch a glimpse of the cars in action. And you'll have lunch at the famous Ristorante Cavallino. Plus, you'll get a Ferrari gift pack as a souvenir of your day. To be in with a chance of winning this fantastic prize courtesy of Shell, all you have to do is answer the following simple question. Which driver won the Turkish Grand Prix? Was it A, Fernando Alonso, B, Michael Schumacher, or C, Felipe Massa? So that's who won the Turkish Grand Prix. Was it A, Fernando Alonso, B, Michael Schumacher, or C, Felipe Massa? The number to call is 0901 293 2020, or you can text F1 plus your answer, A, B or C, to 63337. Calls and texts cost £1 plus the standard network rate, and the lines close at midnight on Wednesday the 27th of September.
Well, always a pleasure to see Alex Zanardi on the Monza grid. And topic of the day, Alex, is about Michael Schumacher. What's your feeling about what he's going to do? Time to retire?
Well, everything seems to indicate that he's going to take that decision. Quite frankly, I think deep in his mind, he would love to continue. But the reality is that a guy like him, he has one great season and one bad race, everybody says, oh, he's finished, he's done. A beginner, he has a bad season, but he has one good, great race, and everybody indicates him like, the future, like the new rising star. So he's got everything to lose, nothing more to gain, and I guess it's very logical, sensible, to retire once that he's still on the top of his game. But knowing Michael and knowing his great achievements, everything he's been able to do, I think he would still have energy to continue.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alex.
Yes, great to see Alex Zanardi on the grid, adding his voice to the chorus of opinion that's starting to think that maybe Michael Schumacher is going to say the word retirement during the course of his announcement at the end of this race. But there's a big race ahead of that, and enjoying the undoubted buzz and adrenaline down there on the grid, Martin Brundle.
Hello, we're going to have to get a route here. A lot of tension going on this grid. Full house today, and there's really 4 stories. One of them I want to just butt my way in here and get hold of the man who's really been cheated of his proper grid position. Fernando Alonso, P10 on the grid. It looks an awful way down there, long way down there to a pole position. And he's just talking to various people here. Fernando, I'm really sorry for you. The lap you did yesterday deserved a reward, not a penalty.
Well, I tried to fight for the sport with a difficult car to drive, nearly broken, but I risked even my life for the sport, for the fans, and I have this penalty. For sure, Formula One is not anymore a sport.
Well, that's a very strong statement from the reigning world champion, and on behalf of the fans, you know, I apologise to you because I just think you've been cheated, but there's a long way to go. We have a saying in English, don't get angry, get even. I don't know if you understand that, but you've got to not take that frustration down to the first corner.
Yeah, for sure. I have to be calm. I have to finish the races. I think the championship at the end will be in our side, even with all these problems. But yeah, things like that make the image of Formula One quite poor.
Does it make you feel angry against Michael or against the system?
Against the system, I think many things happened in the last 2 months against only one team, with no reason, with no explanation, and the image, I think, for the people outside watching TV is that Formula One is a little bit too many politics.
I think you're right. Goodbye. Have a great race. Right, let's move down the grid then. The other story, of course, I said there's 4 stories. One is that outrageously unfair decision. Flavio was just briefing his 2 drivers before you threw to me on the grid. I'd be interested to know what kind of advice he was giving them. They're side by side on the grid, of course. And Barrichello, I think, is somewhere in here, I'm hearing. Let's have a quick word with him. Yeah, we've got a race on today, of course. Who can win this Grand Prix? We've got a World Championship at stake. And then after the race, some highly confusing situation as to whether or not Michael Schumacher is going to retire. Rubens, there's a lot going on the grid. You've got Alonso behind you now, Michael up there apparently making decisions and statements. You're kind of piggy in the middle here with your head down. And what's going on for you this afternoon?
Well, I mean, I hope to be the longest of the top 10. And I have a car that improves a lot in terms of race pace. And that's what I'm looking for. I mean, this afternoon I have to be quick in certain moments of the racetrack if I want to finish on the podium.
Now tell us about the first corner here at Monza. It's a long way down there and cold brakes and cold front tyres when you get there.
Well, I mean, I have to close the door on the right moment in one of the Renaults because then they pump me and I'll just have a good start. But it closed down so quickly. I mean, first corner you gotta be, it's better be careful than sorry.
Are you gonna cut any slack to Alonso behind you? Because I don't think he should be there.
I don't think he deserved that, to be honest with you. So I don't know. He's gonna come fast. He might have less fuel than us. He's gonna come fast.
Okay, we're gonna move on, and I think over here we've got down here we've got Button's car, but I believe Max and Bernie would be there. I don't think Max is. Max, quick word for ITV. Max, well done on your new initiative for the roadcar safety this week, but I have to say, I do think it's grossly unfair what happened to Alonso yesterday. What's your view of that?
Well, you only think that because you don't know the facts. You see, the fact is that Massa was impeded. Although Alonso didn't have a lot else to do, Massa was the one who was completely innocent. The reason Alonso was in a hurry was because he went out the pits a little bit too late. Not his fault, but it was his team. Somebody had to suffer. He should have suffered and let Massa go. He shouldn't have made Massa suffer. That's the view of the stewards. It's a very hard call. We'd all prefer to see him up the front. The fact is that he broke the rules, and what was done to him was the same as been done to everybody this season.
I've looked at it very closely. I've driven 158 Grand Prix. I've seen the TV, so I commentated on it live. Alonso was so far ahead, you wouldn't have known whether it was a Toyota, a Renault or a McLaren at one point.
Well, that's exactly where you're wrong. You see, we have the advantage that we have the actual data from the car. We can look at what actually happened to the car. We can see whether it was a driver error, whether it was an aerodynamic problem and so on. He was destabilized in the Parabolica because of the wake of the car in front. That wouldn't have happened. If Alonso had more time, there's no question he'd have let him go by. He only didn't let him go by, however distant behind, because he was so short a time.
Well, when I'm commentating on the next qualifying session, and if I see a car 100 metres in front of another one and he's not faster than him, is he going to get penalised?
Well, if he was on his out lap and the fast car was on his hot lap, the answer is probably yes, if there was any evidence that he interfered with him. If they're both on their hot lap, that's tough. I mean, that's what happens. But what the absolute rule is, if you're on your out lap, you must not interfere with the man who's on his hot lap.
Okay, then we have to beg to differ, but thanks for your opinion. Let's wander down here then, where the Ferraris are, the front row of the grid. Felipe Massa, who the team claimed was held up with a little bit of understeer. I actually think he had a bit of a toe myself. And quick run down here for Ross Brawn. We're a bit short of time, but we're gonna.
But next year, are we going to meet here on the grid again?
Well, Michael will make his intentions clear after the race, and we'll have a talk after Brazil.
What's he going to say, Ross? Come on, what's he going to say? Tell us, give us a clue. He's retiring, isn't he?
You'll find out after the race, Martin.
You've got to give us something a little bit more than that.
No, I haven't got to give you anything, mate.
All right, we got to go. Good try. I've got a fraction left. Do we want a quick word with Button? We didn't have a chance to see Jensen much in the pre-show today. So a little jog over here with me, Andy. JB, 20 seconds left. What's going on for you today?
I'm looking forward to it. The car seems to be working really well, like Turkey. So yeah, our race pace is better than quali, I think.
Okay, well that sounds good. And tyres, we've seen some delaminations and all that. Any concerns about that?
Not at all. We're fine on tyres. Great.
All right, good stuff. Back to you, Steve. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much indeed, Martin. Some forthright opinions from Martin Brundle and from Max Mosley. Differing opinions there on the grid, Mark Blundell. Is there a chance the stewards have seen something that everyone else has missed?
Well, clearly from what Max Mosley says, they've seen some data that indicates that Massa's lap was impeded. This is going to be an issue to come many times over, I think now, Steve, because there's a human element and there's a technical element. And such is the way Formula One's going now, that a lot of things are coming down to data and the technology. It's almost to the point now, why do we need a driver in the cockpit, or just let them go around remote control? I don't know. For me, still several Grand Prix under my belt and 20 years of racing, I can't see that he got impeded, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, let's hope it doesn't overshadow what promises to be an extraordinary climax of this season and a great Italian Grand Prix. We'll take a break, and when we come back, that grid will be clearing, and it will be the final countdown to the start of this big race at Monza. So rejoin us for the Italian Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen on pole position in a couple of minutes.
F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power. F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.